Hello, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching, look at that, the Political Vigilante. It's the one show on the whole interweb that kind of tells you the truth without ego, without trying to chase clicks. I've actually lost clicks, being honest. What are you going to do? I didn't come on the show to chase clicks. If I was just going to do a YouTube show to chase clicks, then I would just be talking about sports or cat videos or whatever. You know what I mean? Like then why would I talk about politics? Like literally, if you just want to do, I want a YouTube show that makes a bunch of money and I don't care what I talk about. Then fine. Yeah, do wacky videos or how to like golf tips or what, you know what I mean? Like that would crush. Or if you're an attractive woman, just talk about anything in a bikini and you'll get a bunch of dumb guys going, "This is amazing." But one of the things we talk about on this show is how there's almost no difference between the Republicans and the Democrats, especially when it comes to war, right? Especially when it comes to war. Now, we've shown you, and I'll show it to you again, how the defense industry spent $49 million in the 2020 across all the elections in 2020, from the House, Senate races, gubernatorial, all the way up to the president. And I'll show you the graphic, and I've shown it to you numerous times. It's on opensecrets.org. You can look it up yourself. It's a fantastic website. It's a great resource. I always say follow the money, connect the dots. Just go to Open Secrets. Boom. So, and I've shown you that the defense industry gave Trump $2.7 million for his 2020 election and Joe Biden $3.1 million, right? And what that buys you is, and they bought a bunch of Democrats and Republicans, and they've even spent more money. Typically, the defense industry spends a little more money on the Republicans than they do Democrats, but it doesn't matter because it buys you this, which is, this is the final vote on the $40 billion to the Ukraine. The Congress said $33 billion, and then the good old Senate always kicks in more for war. We can't seem to figure out how to pay for Medicare for all. How are we going to pay for that? War, we got plenty of money for. Do you need new schools? I can't. I'm a little tight right now. Would you like infrastructure? Well, we'll try to build back better, but that'll take time. Would you like a Green New Deal that gives Americans jobs and gets us off of oil and saves the earth from climate collapse and puts a bunch of millions of Americans to work making green energy? Yeah, it's just, can we do student debt forgiveness? Oh boy, we can't. But can we give you $40 billion, an emergency $40 billion on top of the other hundreds of billions of dollars we've already given Ukraine to keep this proxy war with Russia going? Well, look at this, gang. Look at this fun. Look at this. This is, and I saw this on Danny Haifong's Twitter feed. Danny, friend of the show. We'll get you back on soon. This is HR 7619, a bill making emergency. It's an emergency. Wars are always an emergency. People dying because they don't have health insurance. I guess that's not an emergency. I guess that's an emergency. People facing bankruptcy and foreclosure because they're behind on their rent or mortgage, or their businesses owes $100,000 because they couldn't pay rent for whatever a year during COVID. That's not an emergency. That's not an emergency. But war, woo, that's an emergency. Supplemental appropriations for assistance for the situation in Ukraine for the fiscal year ending September 30 and all of the purposes. This is agreed May 17th. Motion to proceed 88-11. 88, and this I know it's small, so you probably can't see it, but the blues are Democrats and the reds are Republicans. Do you want to know how many Democrats voted no? 0. None. Only Republicans voted no. Democrats overwhelmed. No Democrats voted no. Let me clarify that in case I screwed it up. No Democrats voted against this resolution. Only 11 Republicans did. Paul, Tuberville, Howley, Haggerty, Crapo, unfortunate last name, Marshall, Braun, Loomis, Boozman, Black, Lane, right? Amy Klobuchar loves war. Let's look at all the potential Democratic presidential candidates from 2020. Dianne Feinstein, boy, she loves war. She's been voting for war for 30 years. She's great at war. Chucky the Schume, Amy Schumer's uncle. Wow, weird. She's famous and her uncle votes for war. No connection. Hickenlooper loves war. Tim Kaine. You remember Tim Kaine? He's the anti-abortion Democrat that Hillary Clinton picked as a running mate in 2016. One of the reasons I didn't vote for Hillary because I'm pro-choice, so I'm not voting for an anti-abortion Democrat. But he loves war. So he's against a woman's right to choose, and he doesn't want women in the Ukraine to have a right to choose whether or not there's a war in their homeland. They don't have a choice over that either. Thanks, Timmy Kaine. Blumenthal. Interesting. Gillibrand, another presidential candidate from 2020. She loves war. So whoever you would have voted for, except for Bernie Sanders, there would have been a lot of war. Oh, Liz Warner. Boom. And that's not Liz Warren. Sorry. Duckworth. Boom. Loves war. Manchin. War. Liz Warren. Here she is. She loves war. Look at him. Dick Durbin. Booker. This is just to be fair here. So these Republicans that voted against it, this is largely performative. And anybody who's like the Republican Party is against war, they're not. They're for war too. Or if Trump would have, we wouldn't have all these wars. That is a preposterous claim to make because the war machine gave Trump $2.7 million. Let's not forget Trump. They always say, oh, he didn't start any new wars when he was in office, but he kept the war machine going. He dropped more bombs than Obama, which I thought was hard to do since Obama dropped more bombs than Bush. This nonsense that Trump would have been better. Trump's awful. Biden's awful. Biden is a war criminal. Trump's a war criminal. Obama's a war criminal. Bush is a war criminal. Clinton is a war criminal. They're all war criminals. This is not voting. Van Hollen. Wow. Unbelievable. Let me show you. I've shown you these before, but you just need to see them again real quick. Okay, just so you see it. Okay, this is I've shown this. I just said the numbers, but the 2020 top recipients from the defense industry: Joe Biden, number 1, 3.1 million; Trump, 2.7; Bernie, 800,000. Right? And then all these people in the Senate and House. Kelly Loeffler. Did she? Well, let's look at some of these names here. Liz Warren, they got their money's worth. Look at all these folks. Calvert, Lindsey Graham, he loves war. Pistol Pete. We can't get any COVID relief money. Are you a small business owner and you owe PPP or SBA loans? Those aren't going to be forgiven. If you were a big Wall Street person, yeah, that's forgiven. Are you a college kid or you graduated from college and maybe you're even 5, 10 or 15, 20 years out of college and you're still paying student debt? We can't get that forgiven. Maybe 10 grand of it will get forgiven. Oh boy, that'll help a lot if you got $200,000 in student loan debt. Boy, 10 grand will really take the sting off. Your monthly payment, instead of being, $350, will be $347. That'll be huge. That's $36 a year. It goes right into your pocket. Boom. Unbelievable. Remember this? 1.5 trillion spending plan. This was bipartisan support. Ukraine aided, COVID funding out. Always have money for war. We always have money for war. And oh, by the way, we just did the war in Somalia. That's just starting. And I don't think Sean Penn is melting down his Oscar for that war yet. Hopefully soon, though. Hopefully we'll get him soon. Unbelievable. Rubio, he likes war. Unreal, man. Kristen Sinema or whatever. Kristen Enema, she likes war. Unbelievable. And I guarantee if we went through the whole list of donations from the defense industry, all these mopes are on it. All of them. And Rand Paul's not some hero. It's all performative. The two-party system is completely corrupt. There it is, folks. Democrats, all of them voted for war. All of them voted for war. The Democratic Party is not the lesser of two evils, right? Even that statement alone is still, you're still evil, right? This two-party system is horrible. Both parties, and the Democrats are going to get crushed in November, and a bunch of war-mongering Republicans will come in, and they'll be critical of how the Democrats did war, but they'll still vote for war. Look, these Democrats voted for war budgets to increase Trump's war budget. Liz Warren, Booker, they all did it. They all keep, it doesn't matter. Whoever's in the White House, Democrat or Republican, whoever controls the Senate and the House, it doesn't matter. It's always bipartisan support. These two words are the two words that should terrify the American people the most: bipartisan and deregulate. Whenever you hear those words, bipartisan means both parties got together. It means they're screwing you over. They're taking your money. That it should be like, we should have free college. We should have high-speed rail coast to coast. We should have free college. It's part of the Green New Deal. We should have student debt forgiveness. We should have free health care, but we can't afford it because all we do is spend money on war. I just shown you how Israel is dumping the US dollar. 53 countries are dumping the US dollar. America's done because all we do is spend money on war and sanctions. We don't take care of our own people, and we certainly don't make the world a better place. These are awful people. Awful people. There's your American Senate right there. Unreal. Follow the money, connect the dots, get the truth, guys. Both parties love war. If you vote or donate to candidates in either of these parties, you are giving your money to the war machine. You are not helping the American people. You're not helping the American worker. Spend your money at a Starbucks that is just unionized, or get your local Starbucks to unionize. Get your local McDonald's to unionize. Get your local Walmart to unionize. Those are actions that'll make your life better. Voting for either one of these corrupt parties is a sucker's bet. I show it to you video after video after video after video. Unreal. We just sent more troops to Somalia and aid to Ukraine. Are you behind on your rent? Sorry, we just shipped your money overseas for some never-ending ridiculous war. Somalia's got huge oil reserves, by the way, in case you didn't know. I already did a video on that. Shave your knuckles for justice.